Hello, everybody. What you guys are about to see is you guys are about to see an opportunity that God has given me to speak in front of a group of people about staying in position. We came from the verse Matthew chapter 26, verses 20 through 26, a little bit further down as well. What it starts off is it's about the Last Supper, and it starts off verse 20 saying, "When evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, 'Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me.' They were sad and began to say to him one after the other, 'Surely you don't mean me, Lord,' including Judas. Judas is one of these people saying, 'Surely you don't mean me.' Jesus replied, 'The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him, but woe to the man that betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born.' Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, 'Surely you don't mean me, Rabbi.' Jesus answered, 'You have said so.' While they were eating, Jesus took the bread, and he had given thanks. He broke it. He said to the disciples, 'Take this and eat my body.' And then we know that he does communion, the first ever communion with the disciples, to go on in verses 27 through 28. What I want to point you guys out, what I talked to them before, what I talked to them throughout this whole video about, but notice how everybody else got all out of position emotionally, physically. They were going around talking amongst each other, asking Jesus, 'Surely you don't mean me, Lord.' But the one person to stay calm throughout this entire encounter is Jesus. Jesus stayed in position. He didn't let fear consume him. Of course, we know why he didn't let fear consume him, because he is God himself. But this is a reminder for us that despite you being in the presence of your enemies and your friends, as David says, 'God prepares the table before me from the presence of my enemies,' that Jesus stood still. There will be times in your life where there is going to be a plethora of things that God has planned for you, but enemies and people who don't like seeing you succeed are going to be at that same table in the presence of it. And it's up for you to stay in position and not let those people take you off guard. Imagine if Jesus, while speaking, got choked up and out of position and in fear because he knew that Judas was going to betray him. Judas literally would have got him out of position without doing anything yet. Obviously, we know why he doesn't, but that's just something to take a piece of as the video continues. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm so glad that I have this opportunity to go out here first and third Fridays and do this youth program I'm a part of, a youth ministry I'm a part of, not just a program, a ministry. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Keep that verse in your mind. Enjoy the video. Is God, but he's following his purpose that he has been assigned to do. He understands the inevitable, which is him being a sacrifice, the ultimate living sacrifice. What we also understand is that despite him knowing and having control over all the stuff that we know he has control over, he still allows himself to be in the presence of his enemies, and not only that, but point his enemy out. There will be a time where, I'm sure it might already be happening. Y'all go to school, y'all are in the presence of tons and tons of kids, and we can keep it a buck. Lots of times, we don't like the people that we got the same class with. Sometimes there's people who get on our nerves. Sometimes there's people who annoy us a little bit. You know you come into this class and you gotta sit, y'all got assigned seats because the teacher lame, and you gotta sit next to this dude or this girl that you don't like. And there is a table made for you in front of the presence of your enemy, because it might be a specific reason. Maybe even, y'all ever feel like your energy is off with somebody? Like, like y'all don't feel the right vibe next to somebody? Maybe there's a spiritual reason on why you might not just click with somebody. Not saying that they're bad people, but it was like, dang, God, like, we following you, we your boy, we here for you, been following you this whole time, and you just dropped this news on us. It shook them up. But notice the one person who didn't shake up was Jesus, was because he was in position. Sometimes being in position for your purpose means that you will be in position, and God will God will place a table before you in front of the presence of your enemies. But that does not mean you move out of position. You stay where you're at. Because despite Jesus, we know how the story ends up. Despite Judas going out there and betraying Jesus, despite him doing what he did to Jesus and ultimately killing the Son of God, the scripture says, if y'all heard it, it said that he would rather not have been born. It would be better that he wasn't even born than to slay the Son of God. But Jesus allowed it to happen because it was his purpose. Jesus did not let fear overtake him and move him out of position. There will be times in your lives where y'all are going to go through some trials and tribulations. And sometimes it's right in front of you. The thing that you fear might kill you. The thing that you fear might hurt you. The thing that you fear might make you fail in your assignment can be right in front of you. But do not move out of position. Because if you truly believe that you have a God who will come over there and make sure that you're protected, put his righteous right hand over your life and guide you through everything, that test that you think you're about to fail, the assignment that you have, I'm not just talking about in school, but the assignment that you could have with being somebody's friend, even though they aren't getting talked to at school and people are looking at you crazy, but you know that it's your purpose to show them kindness. The assignment that you have to be an older sibling, or being an older sibling to somebody else just because you're out of position, just because you might be the youngest in your family does not mean you can't be a big brother or big sister to somebody outside your family. The assignment that you have, whether it be friendships, relationships, whatever it is, God will put you in front of a table where your enemies and your friends are around you, but you have to stay in position. And staying in position will allow God to guide you to where you need to be. What Jesus did was he did not shake. His friends around him were worried. The people around him were worried, but he stood still. I just want to remind you guys to stand still. He was able to complete his assignment. I just want to remind you guys to stay in position. Because there might be a Judas in your life that is looking to take you out, but you guys are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I am surrounded by a group of